Relations between U.S. and Iran has quickly gone downhill since the United States withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal on May 8, 2018. Last month, President Trump designated the key branch of Iran's military forces, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as a terrorist organization. The two countries seem to be moving closer to conflict with each passing day. USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group has been ordered to move to the Middle East. To know more, check the video on the above card. The U.S. also has deployed nuclear-capable B-52H bomber in Qatar. Senior Iranian Revolutionary Guard commander said that the United States military presence in the Gulf is a target and opportunity, raising the rhetoric another notch. The risk of a full-scale war is aggravated since there's no diplomatic channel between U.S. and Iran which can be used to diffuse any accidental flare-up. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes the capabilities of the Iranian military and provides 6 reasons why it won't last even a few days in a war with the U.S. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank or aircraft and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. Iranian Navy has about 400 vessels. Though the quantity may not seem bad, the quality leaves a lot to be desired. Iranian Navy is considered a brown water navy and operates mainly within the 50-kilometer exclusion zone. A large percent of the fleet is made up of small patrol vessels, apart from which there's a small submarines force, some frigates, and a few corvettes. The most potent submarine in the fleet is the Russian diesel-electric Kilo class, which displaces around 2,325 tons. Iran has 3 of these. The other submarines are much smaller than these, and none of these submarines are nuclear-powered. This submarine force is nowhere close to what the U.S. brings to the table. It has 17 Virginia-class, 32 Los Angeles-class submarines, 3 Seawolf-class attack subs in active service, apart from 18 Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines. All of these are nuclear-powered and have a displacement in upwards of 6,000 tons and technologically far superior. It neither has a destroyer nor an aircraft carrier. There are 6 frigates and 3 corvettes. The most powerful of these is the Sahand class that displaces around 2,000 tons. These are no match to the advanced U.S. surface combatants. America has 66 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and 22 Ticonderoga-class cruisers in active service. These displace more than 8,000 tons and are multi-role warships capable of anti-aircraft warfare (AAW), anti-submarine warfare (ASW), anti-surface warfare (ASUW), and ballistic missile defense (BMD). U.S. Navy is expected to dominate and should be able to impose a naval blockade. On paper, the Iranian Air Force possesses more than 300 combat-capable aircraft, but all of them are either 3rd-generation or 4th-generation ones. There are around 190 fighter aircraft, such as U.S.-made Northrop F-5s, F-4 Phantom II, Grumman F-14, and Russian-made Sukhoi Su-22, Sukhoi Su-24, and MiG-29. The MiG-29 is the most modern fighter, and Iran operates approximately only 25 of these. The air-to-air missiles equipping fighters are far older in technology compared to what the U.S. possesses. F-22 and F-35 are a generation ahead of MiG-29 and are stealthy. In this scenario, the Iranian pilots will find it difficult to detect and target them. The U.S., with far sophisticated fighters, coupled with way better pilot training and aerial strategy, is expected to quickly get air superiority over Iranian skies. Iran has 525,000 active personnel and around 350,000 in reserves. Iran's military reportedly has 1,600 tanks. This includes some 100 locally produced Zulfikar, about 100 very old British-made Chieftain, around 200 US-made M60 Patton, as well as around 1,000 T-72 tanks of different variants. Technically, the T-72 is the best of the lot. Viewers may note that in 1991 Gulf War and in 2003 during the invasion of Iraq, the T-72s were quickly swept aside by American M1 Abrams and British Challenger 2. Tehran is also thought to possess around 2,300 armored fighting vehicles, around 550 self-propelled artillery, around 2,150 towed artillery pieces, and approximately 2,000 rocket projectors. While the equipment is available in decent numbers, almost all of these are technically far less competent when compared to American counterparts. A ground invasion will be bloody, but American forces will be able to make quick inroads. Iran has approximately 1,000 strategic missiles that are controlled by the Revolutionary Guard. It consists of 300 short-range ballistic missiles, including Iranian-made Shahab-1 Scud-B, Shahab-2 Scud-C, as well as Tandar-69 CSS-8. It also has domestically produced Shahab-3 Strategic Intermediate-Range Ballistic Missiles IRBM, with a reported range of up to 1,000 kilometers. The Ghadir-1 with an estimated 1,600 kilometer range, and a Shahab-3 variant known as Sajil-2 with a reported range of up to 2,400 kilometers. These can't reach the American mainland, but these do represent a significant threat for American allies like Israel. But the reliability of these missiles are suspect. None have nuclear warheads, and all of them are land-based, which makes them inherently vulnerable to a preemptive strike. A diverse array of surface-to-air missiles are deployed to protect these sites, but none have the capability to detect, track, and engage American stealth aircraft like B-2 Spirit and F-22 Raptor. The U.S. is expected to quickly neutralize these sites with air and sea-launched precision strikes. Iran nuclear deal involved the United Kingdom, Russia, France, China, Germany, and the European Union, apart from the U.S. and Iran. None of these stakeholders have favored the unilateral withdrawal of the U.S. from the deal. Diplomatic negotiations are still underway, but it can be said that in case the U.S. pursues any military action against Iran, there won't be major pushback apart from diplomatic saber-rattling. If we look from Iran's perspective, it's most likely that these stakeholders will be bystanders at the very best, or even support the U.S. in the worst case. It's also been seen that NATO as a whole has been able to keep aside the differences in the past, and there's no possibility of it actively opposing the U.S. In this situation, it can be said that Iran will not find any ally which will genuinely support it in case a conflict gets started. Furthermore, it may have to face aggressive maneuver from Israel and Saudi Arabia. Iran and Israel have been longtime rivals, and several incidents during the current Syrian civil war has strained the relations further. Iran and Saudi Arabia have no diplomatic relations since an attack on the Saudi embassy in Tehran in January 2016. Bilateral relations between the countries have always been strained due to several geopolitical issues like the difference in oil export policy. On May 13th, Saudi Arabia said 2 of its oil tankers were attacked while sailing toward the Persian Gulf. As reported in one case, an unknown object seems to have torn a hole into the hull of the tanker. While Saudi Arabia didn't directly accuse Iran, things could heat up quickly if sabotage by Iran is proven. A war effort requires massive reserves, not only in men, but also in material. American annual military budget is around 50 times that of Iran. Napoleon is known to have said, an army marches on its stomach. In August last year, the Trump administration slapped sanctions on Iran, which has adversely affected its economy. The sanctions have been expanded to include a ban on Iran's oil exports, which is its major source of foreign revenue inflow. More than 150 foreign corporations have stopped doing business with Iran, and many countries like India and Japan have reduced oil imports and may eventually stop buying completely. The economic squeeze has resulted in a severe crunch. The Iranian currency rial lost more than 60% of its value against the dollar last year, and inflation is predicted to reach 40% this year. The economy shrank by as much as 3.9% last year, and as per the International Monetary Fund, it could nosedive by another 6% this year. Keeping this in view, it will not be possible for Iran to fight a sustained war against the most well-funded military in the world.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.